Hi everybody, it's Tanya from the Quilters Market, and today we are going to do a tutorial on the 3D mask. So the 3D mask is this type of face covering. I'll show you what it looks like on. So it covers your nose and underneath your chin, and I like this version because it's very comfortable for all day wear. So I'm going to teach you how to make it. Okay, so to get started with this mask, what we're going to do is we're going to use a fat quarter. Now the nice thing about using a fat quarter is that you can get two masks out of a fat quarter. It just depends on how you set the fat quarter up for the initial cutting. So typically when we use fat quarters in quilts, we would fold it this way for cutting, because usually we cut strips this way. However, for the 3D mask, what I'm going to have you do is to fold your fabric this way. The reason we do this is because we need a piece that is 6 by 10. If I do it long ways like this, then I'm getting about 21 inches, almost 22, so that will give me one 6 by 10 and one 6 by 10 piece. So I'll show you how I'll set that up to cut it. So I have on my ruler here, I have that it's at the 26. I know I need 10 inches, so I'm going to cut it at 36. And then I'm also going to cut it at 46. This will be waist, and these will be for my two masks. Now I'm going to subcut it to 6 inches. Now, depending on how wide your nose to chin ratio is, depending on how wide this is, you can adjust this mask. Instead of 10 by 6, 10 by 6.5, 10 by 7, or 10 by 8 if you have a fuller face that you want to fill in. But for this demo, we are going to do the 10 by 6 inches. Okay, so the fabric is already folded in half. So it is 10 by 6 folded in half. The next step is to mark on each corner. We're going to place our ruler, and we'll need a pencil. And we're going to set the ruler to 1.5 inches, and we're just going to make a mark here, turn the ruler around, and do the same thing, 1.5 inches, and make a mark. We're going to do this on all 4 corners. Once we make our marks, as you can see, I've done it on all 4 corners, then I'm going to cut from the mark to the mark, and I'll show you how that's done. So we're going to line up our ruler just on the marks there, and I'll do all 4. Then we're going to turn the mask inside out, and you're going to take it to your sewing machine, and you're going to sew leaving this edge open. So we're going to sew all along these 2 sides, and I'll show you how that's done. And then I turn it, so I'm going to leave this part open, and I'm going to sew along the other side. see, we have an opening here, and we have an opening on this side. So at this point, I'm just going to turn it inside out. I just do a rough finger press, getting the seam out on both sides, and then I take it over to my iron and I'm going to just press it flat. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nose piece in. The nose piece is really important because it helps, especially if you wear glasses, to prevent your glasses from fogging up. So the way that I'm going to place this nose piece is just a simple pipe cleaner. So if you're making it for yourself, what you can do is you can take the pipe cleaner and just place it on your nose and feel where you're going to get that little arch. You want to make sure that it's not poking you in any place. So that's how I figure how for my nose. If you're making these in bulk for other people, I would say about 2 to 2.5 inches is what you'll need for your pipe cleaner, okay? So then I'm just going to grab a regular pair of scissors, not one that I use for cutting fabric, to cut these. So now that I have that cut, if I was worried about directional fabric, depending on the direction of the fabric, I'll give you an example. This fabric here, if I was worried about the direction I wanting the cactus to be in this portion of my face, then I'm going to place the pipe cleaner at the top here. Okay, so just be mindful when you are selecting your fabrics for your masks, if they are directional, that you place the nose piece at the top portion. Okay, so this fabric doesn't matter. I'm just going to sneak this little pipe cleaner right in here, and I'm going to place it right around the middle. So that looks pretty good to me. So then I'm going to take this back to my sewing machine. So to secure the nose piece, I'm going to feel where the edge of that nose piece is, and I'm just going to kind of box it in. So I'm going to want to make sure that I do a back stitch. Okay, so now my nose piece is nice and secure. Okay, so now that I have my nose piece in place, I'm going to fold the fabric at the little corner pieces edges here. So I'm going to take my pins and I'm just going to pin one here, and I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. So right where that seam ends, I'm just going to fold this over and pin. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and do a 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Now you can see your 3D mask starting to take shape. So the next we're going to do is to attach our elastic. We have both white and black elastic. I use about 7.5 inches of the elastic for both sides. Okay, so that's a total of 15 inches. So 7.5 for the right ear, 7.5 for the left. Now I'm going to pin the elastic right on top. You want to make sure that it is on top of where your flaps are, not on this side. Okay, so your elastic is pinned right on top. Then I place the other little strip right on the other side, and I'll go ahead and pin that. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and just secure the elastic with some loose stitches. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I have the elastic nice and secure. The next step is to roll the sides in. So at this point you can cut off any excess threads that you have to reduce the bulk. And then still keeping the edges folded in, I'm going to fold the piece in twice. And then I just roll the elastic out. Okay, so again, it's folded once, folded twice, and then I'm just going to secure that with a pin. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So we roll it once and we roll it twice. And then secure it with a pin. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to top stitch right along as close to the edge as I can. And then I back stitch to make sure that those stitches are nice and secure. And I'll do the same thing to the other side. So now all I have left to do is create the cradle for my face. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to stitch an opening on both sides here. So I'll put a little pin in. And then put a pin in, just so that they stay open for me. And I'll do the same to the other side. you have it, the 3D mask. Now, one thing that we offer here at the Quilters Market is we have some fat quarter bundles already made up of very beautiful different colors. You get 5 fat quarters for $15. So with making 2 masks per fat quarter, you essentially get to make 10 masks for less than $2. It's pretty great. Thank you so much for joining us for this 3D mask tutorial, and we'll see you next time.